Warning: the following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
I'm just getting the meat that we're going to be grilling up tomorrow for Vermicelli noodle salad. I'm just getting it prepped and a marinade, so then that way it's all ready to go for tomorrow. I'm only streaming it right now just because I want to at least have it documented, so then I can replay it or whatever. Oh, hey, Happy Batty, what's going on? Yeah, it's totally later. To be honest, I'm not going to be doing this for very long, but I'm just getting the meat marinated for tomorrow's stream, and so I wanted to have it documented. Thus the reason why I'm actually streaming it, since I'm getting it prepped now, because this is a common thing for me. If I'm doing something that requires an overnight marinade, it's, here it is 11:30 at night locally, getting this stuff ready for, the next day. This is pretty common practice for me. So let's see. What one of the two meats that I'm doing is a chunk of pork butt, but in order to get it sliced up into pieces that we actually want, I gotta break it down into something smaller, so then that way I can actually slice it into the 1/8-inch thick slices that we need. Oh, you're doing school stuff. Okay, yeah, no worries. I actually have the recipes up on the Discord. I actually have the Discord pulled up, so then that way I can refer to it for what I need. So, had this pork in the freezer for a couple of hours just to firm it up, so it'd be way easier to slice. So what are you studying in school, Happy Batty? What are you working on to get a degree in? I say as I have the chat completely out of view. Regular basis, I'm trying to be awake during daylight hours. Trying is hard. Yeah, I get that. By my own nature, I'm usually a night owl, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Hey, Shiva Mamager, what's going on, man? How you doing? Cybersecurity major at PCC, also gives some tech starts, basically moving my IT career forward. Oh, that's awesome, Happy Batty. That's really cool. Good job. Shiva, what's going on, man? Pork sliced up. That out of the way. Get some of these chicken things out. How much? Taking a rest from yesterday and having a breakfast. How's it going for me? It's going all right. I'm just getting some stuff prepped for tomorrow's stream. Trying to get the pork and the chicken here into a marinade so it marinate overnight. And I figured since I'm doing this, I might as well stream it so then that way I've got a record of it. And I can put it into the VOD. At least like I can edit it in. I need about a pound of chicken. About 454 grams. I weighed the bag after I pulled it out of the fridge because it was a little over 2. That's with skin and bones. Additional fat I'm wanting to take off. I don't mind if there's like a little bit of additional fat on the chicken, but I like to avoid having larger pieces of it. Sounds pretty yummy, yeah. It's a Vietnamese vermicelli noodle salad. Couldn't tell you what the name of Vietnamese is. It's like boom that something or other, but I don't speak Vietnamese. I don't pretend to. But it's a salad that both Mrs. Weiss and myself thoroughly enjoy. And more often than not, when we get it, it's from a local Vietnamese restaurant. But it's one of those things that's like, you know what? It's actually cheaper to make. So I figured, you know what? It's not all that complicated. There's not necessarily a whole lot of really crazy specialized ingredients. I mean, there are a few things that are, dare I say, exotic, but it's only exotic if you don't have ready access to it. And granted, I had to go to a very specific place in order to get them, but it's a couple of fresh herbs. Because at least, yeah, doggos. I think they heard me working and they knew that I was working with food, so they thought maybe they'd come get a snack. They were asleep on the bed with Mrs. Waiso. But one of the things about Vietnamese cuisine that's really cool is there's a lot of fresh herbs and stuff that are in a lot of the food. Just a whole bunch of different herbs that we don't necessarily use, at least here in the U.S., but also a lot of herbs are used for medicinal purposes and things like that. Not of like the weed variety, but more like Chinese herbal medicine kind of thing. And so the herbs that are going into the salad tomorrow, it's perilla leaf. There's 2 kinds of mint. Hey, Lumpy Pickle, what's going on, man? Wasn't sure if you were gonna still be up or not, but hey, Wolfie Little Beast, what's going on, buddy? That's what everyone's asking, is what on earth am I doing up this late? Well, if you look at the stream description and you look at the menu and the recipe, you'll see that I'm getting meat prep and marinating for tomorrow's stream when I make the vermicelli noodle salad. So I just deboned and de-skinned a couple of chicken thighs that are going to be going into the marinade, and I've already prepped the pork. So the meat portion actually I didn't finish this because I got to pound these suckers a little bit flat before I get them into the marinade, because they're going to get grilled tomorrow. And in theory I will I'll have a camera outside of the grill, so that's exciting. It may not be the most ideal of situations doing it, but in theory it'll work. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Hopefully everyone's had a pretty good evening so far. Ours kept getting interrupted, and we were trying to watch Stranger Things, and it took us almost 3 hours to get through the first of the last 2 episodes, which is like a 90-minute episode. But it took us like double the time in order to get through it, because we ended up, it's my dad's birthday today, so we ended up calling him in the middle of that, and then there was just a whole bunch of other stuff that kind of popped up, so. What? I've got nothing for you right now. I know, look at you. Look at you. Oh, fine. And powerless to the doggos. Alright, well, I'm gonna get my hands quick. Excuse me. Puppy, what are you doing? This can go over to the sink. Okay. Skin and bones here. That. Tonight's meat mallet. Unapplied sauce pan. Let's see. That's the coolest sub announcement I've ever seen. Always love the Final Fantasy references. Experiencing what you're doing despite it sounding pretty simple. Yeah, it is actually super simple. Like, I haven't even gotten to the simple part, making the marinade. Really, I mean, this is just, you know, breaking stuff down. And, sorry, baby. She's asleep. I halfway expect her to wander out like I'll see you guys. Like, what are you doing? You should know better by now. Because if I'm making a racket this late, it's because of something like this. Alright. Thankfully, I got a spot in the dishwasher. Okay. And okay, I think I'm ready for the marinades. You'll have to excuse me because I actually have the recipes open on a different tab over here. So if I miss some chat, I apologize. It's only because I'm looking at recipes. Oh, scallions. So let's see, for the pork one, for those playing along at home, calls for a couple of scallions to be pounded up in a pestle and mortar and turned into a paste. I will probably not do that, only because I don't have a pestle and mortar quite big enough to accommodate all of that. And I don't feel like getting out the food process. Although I could use that little mini prep, but all that's going to do is really chop it up. It's not going to really turn it into a paste. I suppose I can try. Like a little bit at a time. So let's see. Scallions, fish sauce, sugar, honey, black pepper, and oil. That's going on the pork. So let's see. Honey. I already got the sugar, got the oil, fish sauce, and black pepper. I'm running around in my slippies. Okay, after dark. That'll be sufficient for my needs right now. So, let's see. Since I want to turn this into a paste, I'm thinking what I'll do is I'm going to add the sugar component of it, which is what, a couple of tablespoons, just to act as kind of an abrasive. So in that way, it mashes up a little bit better. And just do it right here. Pretty good. Wash later. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Fish sauce, 6.5 tablespoons. That'll be the primary salt component. And honey. Sure if this is going to be a third of a cup. That is Not sure. I pulled out a couple of other jars up there. I'm not sure if it was really visible. But one of them was a peach honey, the other one was a mango honey. I was looking for just a regular one. I believe this is the one that I think it was. It was a raw honey that I purchased off of the side of the road a couple of years ago. Kid was selling honey by the jar, and so I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll pick it up. Why not? So totally worth it. I'm gonna go pop this in the microwave for about 30 seconds just to get it heated up and made viscous again. So in that way, I can finish this off. Well, this is looking and smelling really good. I'm excited for it. I'm not sure if we'll skewer the pork tomorrow or if I can get a hold of one. You see them used all the time. Really, Southeast Asia, they have these cool folding grill baskets where they'll put something into, and then that way they can just kind of flip the whole thing. And it's really great for smaller things or oddly sized things. It just makes life way easier. Like it felt warm, but it just wasn't flowing yet. So in the meantime, let's see the chicken. So we need lime juice, vegetable oil, soy sauce, fish sauce, sugar, garlic, ginger, gumbo, and salt. Okay. Well, since I don't have to pound anything up, I can just add them all directly to the bag. Got cilantro here from earlier that I chopped up because we polished off the rest of the quesadilla, that the birria that I made on Tuesday. And so I made quesadilla tacos for Mrs. Waiso, and I had birria nachos. And so I made sure to just mince up some additional cilantro for this because I knew this was happening. Do. And I'll just let that kind of cool down before I let it back up. And into the bag. There we go. That's looking good. Okay. Get more of the air out, and then this will go into the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow morning and probably throughout the day tomorrow, I'll pull both of the packages out and massage them a bit just to make sure that everything is getting good and covered. Alright, so cilantro, let's see, how much sugar? A couple of tablespoons. That's about 2. sambal. Sambal, aka chili garlic sauce. I love this stuff and use it all the time. Okay. It's like a pickled chili and garlic is really what it is. Okay. Let's see. Fish sauce. 1.5 teaspoons. Boop. Soy sauce. Tablespoons. There we go. And let's see, vegetable. That. And lime juice, ginger, garlic. Yeah, that's it. I think I have, 1.5 tablespoons of lime juice, which is about what you get out of a single lime ish. I'm not sure if I've ever talked about this, but like when I go to the market to pick limes, and this could be my own personal superstition, which is kind of funny, but it's just my own kind of personal methodology for choosing limes. Most of the time in the bins at the market when you see the limes, what's the minimum and maximum marinade time for the chicken? I think I put in there minimum 30 minutes, maximum overnight. When I'm choosing limes kind of out of the bin, most of the time you'll see... Oh, snap! Hey, DePerson, thanks for the sub, buddy. You see limes that have kind of a rough exterior to them, and then you also get limes kind of like this. If you go more than overnight, is that too much? Will it make no difference? It depends on what's in the marinade. I'll answer that question in just a moment. So if you see how this one comparatively is pretty dang smooth, I always pick the smooth ones. Always. I never get the rough. I always get the smooth ones, as crazy as it sounds. The other thing that I do is when I pick it up, I also give it a squeeze. And if it's like a rock, I'll put it back. I look for limes that have a bit of give to them, because what that tells me is that the pith, that white that's just underneath the skin here, if it's rock hard, it's usually on the thicker side. Whereas if it's, got a little bit of give to it, then it's ready to be, juiced. Because if you get one of those that is really rock hard and you try to juice it, what ends up happening is the internal little, I forget the name of them, but the little juice sacs just kind of flower out. Just stopping by for a little bit. Yeah, no worries, DePerson. I'm not streaming for a heck of a long time. Like, honestly, all I'm doing is prepping the meat and getting it marinated for tomorrow's stream. And so I figured, since I'm doing this anyways, I might as well stream it, so then that way I have a record of it and I can edit it into the VOD that I'll put up on YouTube. So then that way it's all part of one big thing. But that's what I do when I choose limes. So that's my pro tip for that. Now back to Lumpy Pickle's question about the marinating time for the chicken. In this particular circumstance, because it's got the acidity of the lime, I don't recommend letting it go more than overnight. And it's because if the acidity is left in contact with the protein for too long, it will do one of a couple of things. It'll either toughen it up, or it'll actually kind of start to like get past the toughening point and then start to kind of break it down, and then it gets a bit mushy. and you don't want that. So honestly, like if you do this, like say the morning of, and then you're gonna have it like in a few hours or, you know, for dinner, fantastic. But I'm like, you know what? I gotta do it anyways. I might as well do it tonight because tomorrow morning we're going to dim sum. So, not really gonna have a whole lot of time to do it in the morning because I also have to go to a German deli to pick up brats for Sunday, and then we're going to dim sum. So, like, I'm not entirely certain what time we'll be home, and I want to make sure that I got plenty of time to get everything else prepped and ready to go for tomorrow. So, if it's too much, I'll make no difference. Dim sum, that's awesome, and I hate you. Well, okay, I need to explain a little something. Mrs. Weso's favorite thing, most favoritist thing in the world, besides me, is dim sum. Bar none. It is her desert island. Like, bring the little carts with the little Chinese women pushing them around, you know, all that stuff. That's her jam. The place that we had been going to since we moved up here closed down, and so we needed to find a new place, and so we're going to go try out a place tomorrow, which has got some really good reviews, so should be really interesting. I'm excited because it's been a while since we've had it, and it's something that we don't get a heck of a lot, and we usually end up getting it like the weekend around her birthday, and her birthday's coming up at the beginning of August. So this is going to be a chance to kind of find a good place, and if it's okay, then we can go there, or if we have to try somewhere else, oh darn, that's what we're up to. So yeah, that's adventures tomorrow morning. Can it also technically cook it? I've seen people do that with shrimp, and it looks like it was cooked, but it was just sitting in some acidic mix. Popping the dim sum cherry. Hope it's real. Yeah, we love dim sum. We've been a bajillion times. We used to go when we lived in Southern California. We would drive up to LA and go to the super famous Empress Pavilion. We used to go like all the time. We had a circle of friends, and so we would go in a group of like 12 and get a giant table, and it was always a blast. So we're not total noobs when it comes to it, thankfully. Now back to the person's question about cooking it. So what you're talking about with shrimp is something that's called ceviche, and it's something that you find predominantly like Mexico into Central and South America, and every country, every region within the countries kind of has like their own deal when it comes to it. But yes, that's exactly what you're doing with that. The acid, usually like lime, lemon juice, sour orange juice, something like that, is that you're putting things like shrimp, scallops, various seafood, different fish, things like that, usually like whitefish for ceviches, although I've seen ceviches like octopus, squid, but by marinating it in that acid, you're effectively cooking it without actually cooking it, and it is safe to eat. Ceviche is super good. I highly recommend it. There was an episode of, I don't remember if it was No Reservations. It was one of the Anthony Bourdain shows where he was down in, I don't remember if it was Peru or Ecuador, but might have been Bolivia. I don't know. It was somewhere down in South America, and he visited a place, and the guy that was running it, of I believe it was Chinese descent, but he was all about ceviche, and he had like a bunch of different varieties that he would make, and it was all dependent upon like what was fresh, what was in the market, and he would just crank out all these amazing ceviches. Like he would have like at any given time in the restaurant, he'd have like 20 or 30 of them going. It was just amazing to watch. So I love shrimp dumplings and pot stickers and pork buns, etc. I hope this place is good so we can go when I'm up there. Totally. If it is, we're absolutely going there. I hope so too. The place that she picked out doesn't have like the crazy expansive menu, but it does have like some of her favorites, like these little custard tarts that she loves. There's some egg buns, the steamed pork spare rib and black bean sauce is a favorite. I usually get the chicken feet because I enjoy them. She can't be bothered to eat them, but I'm just like, bring it. So like there's some staples and things that I figure is like, if we can order those and give those a try, that'll be a good kind of baseline for things. You know what I mean? I mean, that's to be honest, that's our MO when we go to any new place, is like, okay, we're going to this type of restaurant. It's like, okay, well, what's on the menu that we know and we love, and we can kind of judge the place by how they execute these particular things. And there have been places that we've gone to that on paper look great, but we would try some of these things that we love, and we're just like, yeah, nah, and we would never go back, just because it's like, it's not like we were ordering anything crazy, but it was, staples that we knew and we loved, and that's, kind of their benchmark. Like for me, at a lot of like American style places, like a patty melt is kind of my benchmark. Don't ask me why, that's just sort of my thing, but I find it so interesting that it can do that. I would try it hesitant though. Yeah, chicken feet is all meat, and that's totally fine. I get it. It is kind of it's a weird thing for most white folk, but it was I think the first time I tried it, I did it purely out of, like, I don't want to say a dare. If it was a dare, it was a self-dare. It was, they're serving chicken feet. Clearly, the Chinese populace around us is eating it. So, it's got to be okay. So I figured, all right, I'll give it a shot, because what's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, say it's all me, say I pay for it. It was only like a couple of bucks, and at the time it's like, you know what, if I don't finish it, then not a couple of bucks, but I will have tried it. I liked them. So yeah, it's a lot of work, and there's a lot of little bones that I end up spitting out into the thing, but yeah, I go to town, and it is what it is. Love patty melts, brother from another mother. It's true, I swear. Don't ask me why, but yeah. No, I love a good patty melt when done correctly. And I don't know why I started doing this, but I started dipping them in ketchup. I think it stems from, oh gosh, there was a group of friends back in high school. It was like high school and like just after high school. And late night we would end up at Denny's just because it was the only place around that was open. And that became kind of my de facto order, was patty melt with extra onions. And I would get it, and it would just be like, yeah, I just need some ketchup. And so I'd have ketchup on the plate for the fries, and so I just started dunking it in there, and it just became a thing. As a burger, it's not the weirdest thing to dip it in. No, not at all. It just sounds a little weird when you say, oh yeah, I dip my entire patty melt into ketchup, but not like full dunk, but like dip it and then take a bite kind of thing. So that's just yeah, it's just something that I do. Okay. I should probably chop up some ginger and garlic and get it in there for the chicken. Let's see. How much? Soup on the patty melt is delicious. Yep. Ketchup definitely is. Alright, let's see. 2 teaspoons of garlic and a teaspoon of ginger. The recipe command should work in chat. And in fact, there it is. So the recipes for the marinades is actually up on the Discord. I made sure to put them up before I did this. Let's do another one. Why? Because we like garlic. Get it in there. All right. All right. Let's mince up some. You know, I'm using Mrs. Hueso's training knife right now. And, you know, I was thinking that sometimes, like, I've been asked previously, like, oh, you know, what's your favorite knife, or what kind of knife would you recommend for, you know, somebody, you know, who's just starting out, or, you know, whatever. And my answer has always been, it would help if I changed the camera. I was just mincing up some ginger. I'm not quite done. I got another round to go through. Yeah, switch camera. Thank you, Lumpy. 8-inch Forstner chef's knife is always my recommendation if you're looking for a knife just to kind of start out. And to be honest, if this was the last chef's knife that I ever bought or had, I'd be okay with it. There's a couple of reasons. Because they're not that expensive. I want to say I don't remember how much. I think when I purchased this for Mrs. Hueso, I think it was like 25 bucks. Like, not very much, but it's got a good quality steel. It holds the edge really well. It's easily resharpened, and because it's as inexpensive as it is, if something happens to it, I can just get another one without worrying about it. Now, this is a Japanese Gyoto. I think it is 230 something millimeter. It's a little over 8 inches. This was about $200, and I purchased it back when I was in culinary school. I love this knife. I use this knife quite a bit. It's very sharp. But if something were to ever happen to it, it's not like I can just, you know, super easily replace it. I'd have to order it from a specialty site in order to get it, and to be honest, I'm not even sure if the maker's still around, because a whole bunch of knife makers closed up shop in Seki City, Japan, which is kind of like the knife making sort of capital there. And so I don't even know if that particular manufacturer's around. I mean, sure, I can get like another style and whatever, but the biggest single principle to keep in mind if you're looking for a knife is it's got to be comfortable in your hand. If it's not comfortable in your hand, you're not going to use it. You're going to hate using it, and it's just no bueno. So if you're actually going out to buy knives, try to go to a place where you can get your hands on them and actually get a grip. And if it's like, this handle for me is comfortable, you know, and so I can use it like it's no problem. In fact, all the handles on these are very comfortable. I think the most comfortable handle that I have is this guy, which was a Shun collaboration with Kramer Knives, and this handle is super comfortable. Like, I love it. But Kramer discontinued his partnership with Shun and went over to, I think it was Wusthof Like, that knife hasn't been manufactured in, what, 10, 13 years, I think? And even then, that was, I want to say it was like $350 or something like that. So, you got to make sure it's comfortable. If it's not comfortable, then no bueno. As long as it's a good high carbon steel to hold an edge well, that's what's important. And ergonomics, yeah. Honestly, I would say ergonomics is going to be the highest priority. If it's comfortable in your hand, then you can start talking about the blade. And thankfully, like, is it the greatest knife steel on the planet? No. This isn't something that I would use on, like, Forged in Fire. But for kitchen purposes and being able to hold an edge, it's perfect. This single knife will accomplish 80% of kitchen tasks, no problem. So, something to consider. Are there any knives you'd recommend that are more affordable? I don't cook often, but I might want to upgrade sometime soon. Honestly, stick with the Forstners. Happy Batty. Yeah. This one, the handle says Victorinox Fibrox, like Swiss Army knife company, but if you search like Amazon for Ito Kiel, yeah, exactly. Do an Amazon search for Forstner 8-inch chef's knives. This is what I recommend. In fact, I have, like, my boning knives are Forstner. My big slicer here is a Forstner. My serrated knife is a Forstner. I've got a lot of Forstner because they're crazy affordable and yeah, hold an edge well. So Forstner, F-O-R, let me see. There, that's the name of the brand, Forstner. If you just search that on Amazon, there'll be like a billion results for it. And like I said, even if you don't cook very often, these are affordable, and if you treat it right, it'll last you, you know, forever and a day. So, I love Forged in Fire. Yeah, I used to watch Forged in Fire like all the time, and there was a contestant on there that has a shop in the area here. I don't recall where it's at specifically, but he came into the hardware store that I was working at, and we were talking about stuff, so it was just kind of interesting. But I believe that is it for this marinade. So I can get all the air sucked out. Can't possibly scroll through a billion results. Control F is your friend. Come on, you should know that. Alright. That is marinating, and that will be grilled tomorrow with the pork. And that is good to go. Probably need that ginger tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow should be good. Love me some vermicelli noodles. Hey, Jack Daddy, what's going on? No, it's not too late to cook. And I find it very surprising that you would say that it's too late to cook. I'm just saying. No, I'm marinating chicken and pork for the vermicelli noodle salad that I'm making tomorrow. And so I figured, since I got to get them into marinade and get that prepped, I might as well stream it. And hey, people showed up, so it's all good. You can troll all you want, Jackson. It's all good. Yeah, you have free trolling privileges in this channel, so it's all good. Saying the name Victorinox. Yes, Victorinox is the parent company. Forstner is kind of the sub-brand. So yeah, you're doing good, Happy Batty. Yeah. That it's gonna be super good. Yeah, they're gonna get thrown on the grill tomorrow, and then they will go into the vermicelli noodle salad, which is gonna be awesome because I've already got my noodles, got everything really. I think, yeah. I do need to get some additional cilantro and probably a couple more limes. So sad at home. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. Well, you're only sad because you had to work. I'm guessing, right? You had to work and you didn't go. Oh, yeah, that's all right. I saw the pictures. Yeah. Oh, it was slow. Oh, because Canada Day. That's weird. I would think that people would be like out drinking and stuff like that. Although I don't know how Canada Day is celebrated. If it's anything like July 4th here in America, it's all about drinking and stuff like that. Oh, you got cut early? Oh, snap. Oh, camping. Oh, it makes sense because it's like finally nice weather, and so you can get out and do that kind of thing. So that makes total sense. But yeah, our holiday is Monday. I have no idea what we're doing. I swear it. When we first moved up here, the first year, it was like, oh, July 4th is coming around, and it was like getting, like, we weren't eating dinner until like 9 o'clock at night because it was still so bright. And we weren't used to the light going that late, being from, Southern California. But once it started to, even start to get remotely dim, fireworks were going off around us like crazy, and I swear we were in like Fallujah or something like that. It was like a full-on war zone, but it was cool because we can go sit out on the front porch and just the sky would be totally lit up. So that was fun. But, there was one year that we went and watched one of the municipal shows, but oh my gosh, the music choices were awful. Oh my goodness, the music was horrible, and it didn't sync up with the music very well, and it was just, oh, this is bad. And bear in mind, I mean, okay, I fully admit I am fireworks show spoiled, having lived by Disneyland for 7 years, and having seen Disneyland fireworks when they started doing them literally every night throughout the year. So it's like, I know what a good show looks like. And theirs was, dude, a UTA fireworks show would just be like, it'd just be nonstop. Just going off because you're doing it to the beat and everything like that. Although it would be fun to actually like choreograph a fireworks show like that. Party of one, cupcakes and bacon. Voodoo Donuts should be open. They do have a maple bacon. I could probably go get one. Actually, funny story. When oh gosh, this is before I met Mrs. Wayso. She and her brother, and their mom actually, would they would actually work on a professional show every July 4th. There was a guy that they knew, and I forget the actual relation, but he was the certified pyrotechnician, and he, was in charge of the whole thing, and so he would hire out a bunch of people for the day, basically. And so, he did all the orders and everything. There'd be the fire marshal that was out there, and bacon and anything, totally. Cupcakes and bacon, we can make that happen. We have that technology. So they would go and do this show every July 4th. And then, but they stopped because there was some drama. And for about 3 years, we went and did it. And so I got to help set up these shows, and we got to watch them like on the field. One year we were literally like within the fire field of it. I think I was standing 30 feet from launch tubes kind of thing. So like you get a little spoiled when you're right there watching stuff. I am kind of glad that we stopped doing it when we did. The year after, because it was like there was kind of the group that I was with, and then there was this other group. The other group were colorful characters, we'll call them that. Not exactly the, I don't know, not really the most responsible of individuals that I'd want handling explosives. Anyways, the year after we stopped doing it, they had a couple of low fires, meaning that the shell that they dropped into the tube didn't go all the way to the bottom. And so as a result, it didn't build up the pressure that it needed to. And so instead of going off at like 300 feet, it went off at like 100 feet and ended up starting a fire. So glad we weren't there for that. Because, yeah. Oh man, Mrs. Waislow's brother actually had turnouts. So he had like a full fire, he had fire gear, pants, jacket, helmet, whole thing, in order to do that. So don't eat bacon sandwiches, not BLTs. I don't need no lettuce or tomato, just want a bacon sandwich. I have never, but I would eat one. You know, it's been a while, but I have actually done that. It can be. Sometimes you just need meat and bread. This is true. This is true. Sometimes you just want to stick your meat in between a couple of buns and call it good, you know? Sometimes it's just all you want. Yeah, working at a fireworks factory can be really stressful, and I've watched way too many like documentaries and videos on fireworks factories. And what's interesting is you can always tell the good factories because the good ones have really like overflowing reject bins. Because if they have the reject bins like overflowing, it means that they're being really careful with their QC and making sure that they're not sending potentially flawed product out. So it's yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like you want to see that they're like actively pulling stuff off of the line. So new hot dog cart, bun meats. We'll stick our meat in your bun, or in between your buns, something like that. I don't know. It's late. Okay. Well, I think that is probably about it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out, folks. It's been a fun hour or so. Yeah, a little over an hour. So good times. Well, I am just gonna finish cleaning up, get the meat in the fridge, and I'm probably gonna go watch some YouTube videos or something like that, just to kind of hang out. Where's the other hand? Between two pillows. Those aren't pillows. But it was so warm and so comfortable. Anyways, all right. Have a good night, folks. I will catch you tomorrow. I am kind of curious. Hang on. Like, is anybody on right now? Doubt it, but. Oh, Saucy's on. You know what? Let's see. How long has Saucy been on? Oh, he's been on nearly 3 hours. But it looks like he's just gaming. Yeah, let's go raid him anyways. Yeah, let's go raid Saucy. Alright, folks. Y'all have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow. And, oh, raid message. There we go. Alright, folks. Let's go say hi to Saucy. Have a good night. What's happening, everybody? I think the mic might have been on the entire time. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. I figure somebody will tell me. Welcome. We live here. Not a studio audience. How's everyone's Saturday going? Dogs suddenly decide they're going to be active. They've been lounging around, just taking it easy all day, and then suddenly they decide, oh, now we're going to be all active and run around and jump and do stuff. So it's just like, oh, joyous. And neighbor kind of behind us decided that they're going to do all sorts of lawn care. You know, it's just kind of funny how things work out that way. So, hey, Avocado Green KitchenAid and Scott2572, welcome. Welcome to Lurkers and everybody else that's here today. So today we're making vermicelli noodle salad. In the title, it's like bung that something or other nuong, I think is what it is. I don't know. I don't speak Vietnamese. I don't pretend to. But I do know that it's delicious and we absolutely love it. And so that's kind of, that's what we're doing today. And last night, pretty late, I popped on to, because I needed to get the meat marinating for today, and so I got that prepped and streamed it. And so we had a good time last night for those that were able to come around and hang out. That VOD should be up, and I'll edit it into this video, so it's all part of one thing, since it's all kind of part of the process. But I've pulled the meats out, and we've got them here. The boneless, skinless chicken thighs that have been chilling in the marinade overnight, and then the pork here. And we're not going to grill up all of it today, only because there's no need to. It's literally just Mrs. Weissel and myself, so there's no real need to grill it all right now, but I will end up draining it, and then we'll end up probably grilling some more and making it again tomorrow for like lunch or something like that. But we're not doing that just yet. So the recipes are up on the Discord. There's the link, and there's a bunch of little components that go into this salad. So it's not just like, oh, hey, it's like a chopped salad sort of thing, and kind of throw everything into it. But there's kind of a whole bunch of things that are going on. There's the rice vermicelli noodles, which you usually get them in a dried form like this. Oh, it would help if I put the proper camera on. There we go. These dried rice noodles, and they don't take very long to cook. Is what, 7 minutes is what this is saying. And then afterwards, you drain them really well, and then wash them in cold water, and then let those drain. So then that way, because they're not eaten hot, they're eaten kind of like either cool, room temp, or whatever. And so we'll get those going. But it's got like bean sprouts, it's got julienne cucumber in it. There's some herb action, so there's like cilantro. There's going to be 2 different types of mint that'll go into it, as well as perilla leaves, which is kind of another whole other flavor thing that'll be going in. We got a dressing that we need to make for it, wok cham. So we'll be doing that. We've got to toast the peanuts and get those crushed up, because that's one of the garnishes that go on it. Same thing for the fried shallots, which is another garnish for it, which we'll make. And scallion oil, which is yet another kind of garnish. In the recipes that I have posted, one of the things that you see is that for like the scallion oil, it says, you know, put the oil on, add the scallions, and kind of let it come up to a simmer, and then turn off the heat, and then just kind of let it cool down. And then for the fried shallots, we're frying them up in the oil, and then pulling them out and letting them cool down and drain on paper towels to scatter over the top. Well, the oil from the shallots is going to have all that yummy shallot flavor, and so the thought that I had to myself, hey, Dee, welcome, welcome. I would imagine, I think you're going to be streaming pretty soon, if you're streaming today, if I remember correctly. So, thanks for popping by. We are making Vietnamese vermicelli noodle salad today. Very low calorie. Super low calorie, in fact. But yeah, we're just kind of talking through everything at the moment. And so we got those garnishes that go onto it, but it comes together relatively quickly. I mean, even though there's a lot of little things that go into it. Hey, Harkonnen, welcome, welcome. Oh, okay, later tonight. Right on. I will more than likely end up popping by later to hang out, because it's always a good time. So yeah, let's get started on things. So what I was talking about, the shallot oil. After frying up the shallots in that oil, what I'm gonna do is, instead of just getting rid of that and then doing an entirely different thing for the scallion oil, I'm just gonna take that shallot oil and then throw the scallions into it off the heat. So then that way it just kind of does its thing. And then that oil will be super infused, and we can use it for, say sauteing up eggs or really kind of anything at that point. So, oh yeah, we are gonna start making some yum yums. And I believe Dee said that you're gonna be doing some cooking streams sometime soon. So that should be fun. I like watching cooking streams. It's a good time just to, if for no other reason, just to see how other people approach food and what they do. So, I will not backseat, I promise. Yeah, new recipes are always fun. Okay, yeah, one day, no worries. So it's all good. All right, let's get started on things. I've got here for the peanuts. It's a bunch of raw, untoasted, unsalted peanuts that we're gonna roast up in the dry pan. And so this is all ready to go, but we need to get prepped, because in the same pan that I'm going to do that in, we're going to fry up the shallots, and then we're going to do the scallions. So we need to slice up the shallots, we need to slice up the scallions, and then after we take care of that stuff, we can make the nuoc cham, the dressing, which is dead simple. The recipes for everything is right there. And then at that point, because I got the grill heated up outside, and unfortunately I couldn't get the camera to work like I was hoping to. It was working, but then it decided not to work. So I was just like, I don't have time to deal with this at the moment. So unfortunately I won't have the camera out there for the grilling portion of it. But while I'm out there grilling, Mrs. Weiss is going to be in here taking care of like the lettuce, the bean sprouts, the herbs. I'm gonna teach her how to julienne the cucumber. So yeah, while that stuff is on the grill, and so I'll be going back and forth. And if I need to, I'll bust out the weed burner to get a final char on things. Oh, just remembered, we're gonna do some shrimp too. So I've got some frozen shrimp. I'm gonna get those in some water right now to start thawing. And then for the grilling portion of these, picked up these guys today. And these are super cool because they flip open and you can put usually the thinner stuff that's all up in here. And thankfully with the pork that we sliced up last night, that's going to go in here, and the shrimp should work pretty nicely in here. And then there's this little clip that you slide down over it and locks it into place. So once you've got it loaded up, just turn the handle and flip. So I'm super excited to give these a go, with the pork especially. The chicken thighs I'm leaving whole, and we'll cut up after the fact to add to the salad. But I'm wondering if the shrimp might be too thick for this. Maybe not. Well, we got butterfly. Yeah, butterfly, exactly. Well, if nothing else, we've got bamboo skewers. We can throw some on the skewers, and then I can just turn them on the grill outside, and we'll do that. But definitely need to get the shrimp thawing first. Oh yeah, no, you got this, D. You totally got it. If you can feed yourself, you can do this. And to be honest, and if you need any advice, you know how to get a hold of me. But I'm not gonna backseat, okay? Just so we're clear, because that's not how I roll. And there we go. Like I knew the frozen shrimp were in there. So I've got a few shrimp left. So we're gonna give these a thaw. These are these are white shrimp. It's a variety. It's a variety of shrimp. White shrimp, if I remember correctly, no. If I remember correctly, white shrimp, a lot of times you find them like in the Gulf of Mexico. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I'm not a shrimp fisherman. If Bubba Gump were around, we could ask him because he would totally know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's got Google. She's gonna do this. But these are U4150, and that just means that given the individual size of the shrimp, there's between 41 and 50 shrimp per pound. That's all that U count means, and so the smaller the number, the larger the individual shrimp. Oh, I called it! Gulf of Mexico. Nice.
The subject of early shrimp fishery in the United States.
Oh. Well, alrighty then. Okay.
Apparently they're on the sweeter side this week.
Right on. Oh, snap. Who's hosting? Hey, thanks, D. Okay. So the shrimp are all up in there. Oh, hey, thanks for the bits. So the shrimp are just hanging out in some water. They will be ready to go in, I don't know, like 20 minutes. They don't take very long to thaw from frozen. The USDA would recommend having running water going over them, but at least in my personal experience, when it comes to actually thawing them for personal use, leaving them in a bowl of water is going to be totally fine. Dee, thank you for the love. It is much appreciated, honestly. Dee, by the way, and when Dee popped up in chat, she should have gotten an automatic shout out, and Dee has been a very lovely host. Have thoroughly enjoyed just kind of hanging out in the channel. It's always just a good time. It's a great place to just unwind and relax. And yeah, no, she's a very lovely host. So if you just want to, hang out, have a good time, go hang out with Dee sometime. Highly recommend it. It is yeah, she just turned 69. Looks phenomenal for her age, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the joke.
I know.
It's the joke. And anyways,
What am I doing?
I know, what are we doing wrong here? But yeah, no, yeah, and yeah, so it's her birthday week, and so happy birthday to you. Anyway, okay, shrimp-a-thon. Let's get some shallots prepped. Let's get the scallions prepped, so we can get all that stuff going, and then we can move on to all the other yummy goodness. I have got shallots. They're like a cross between an onion and garlic because they have layers like onions, and yet when like this one here, if I go to pull it apart, like there'll be two little what look like cloves, but they're, you know, oniony, but garlicky. Anyways, they're delicious. So for the shallots here, all I'm wanting to do is really kind of peel them off. And then once we do that, we're gonna thinly slice them. And I am absolutely gonna cheat with this because, well, I can. I'm using my Ben Renner mandolin, which these things are amazing, and I absolutely love them. But you can, if barring having one of those, doing them by hand, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with slicing them by hand. What's that? I popped a beverage into the freezer to cool down because it was at room temp. So that was the timer to make sure that I didn't forget about it and it explode. Not that that's ever happened to me before, and not that that's I've never ended up with a Dr. Pepper slushie before because of that. Ever. Yeah, why does it sound like gunfire all of a sudden? Oh, I forgot it.
What's the perfect amount of time for your soda?
So, yeah, every freezer is different, depending on how cold it is. For me, I found that going from room temp to nice and chilled before, about 45 minutes for me. However, if we've learned anything from science and thermodynamics specifically, is that water is a significantly more efficient way of transferring energy from one thing to another, which is why, like, in professional bakeries, the ovens that they use will have like a steam injection. And the whole purpose of that steam injection is to help set the crust and also more efficiently bake the bread. So, with that understanding, water being able to transfer energy really efficiently goes both ways. So it's not just hot, it's also cold. So, if you were to get yourself, like, say, a small igloo cooler, fill it with, you know, either reusable ice blocks or just ice and water, and let the water kind of come down in temp and then drop your drinks in there, it's actually much faster doing it that way. And that's how I used to do it when I was working pest control, because I would usually stop by the market in the morning, grab a Gatorade or two, and pop it in my cooler. So then throughout the day, I was, you know, by the time I was ready to, I needed something to drink, I had ice cold Gatorades ready to go. But drinkably cold for, like, just say a can of soda in straight up ice water like that, about 15-20 minutes at most. Yeah, and so science is fun when you can harness it to your benefit, especially. So since yeah, you can see kind of the interior, that how it's looking. It's got those layers, but it's got like the individual sections. And all I'm doing is giving Mrs. Hueso a heart attack by not using a cut glove or a guard or anything like that. And as I've said previously, the only reason why I can do this with confidence is because I've been doing this for years. This is true. Even the masters cut themselves. I still periodically cut myself and get burns. Although losing arm hair is a pretty regular occurrence for me. Yeah, kind of up the side you can see like there's missing hair. Um, that's just cost of doing business when it comes to, you know, cooking with fire. So the shallots?
Yes, the shallots.
The shallots are getting fried up and they're a garnish for the salad. Well, yeah, the restaurant that we usually get stuff from doesn't do the fried shallots, but it is super common. Other restaurants do it, and it's. I will say that most of the recipes that I'm working off of are from a chef by the name of Luke Nguyen, and I tend to trust his recipes because they're very good. So, and he totally knows what he's talking about. Chefs and flash burns are old and good friends. This is very, very true, Harkonnen. Like, yeah, I've cut myself and burned myself quite a few times, and it's fires don't scare me in the kitchen. I don't know. I don't even react to them. Funny culinary school story. I think this was maybe my second. Yeah, I think it was my second semester in one of the kitchen classes, and at this point in time, like, everybody was effectively at stoves, making and executing the recipes for the day. Somebody overheated a pan before adding oil to it, and the pan was probably like in the 450-500 range plus. So the oil immediately hit its flash point and sent up this giant plume. People were freaking out like crazy. The chef didn't even like bat an eyelash, and I happened to be standing, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 feet away. I just went over and grabbed a sheet tray and slapped it down on top of the pan without even really thinking about it. That's because that kind of thing, it happens, and, you know, I just don't think about it. It especially happens like if you're cooking with alcohol. I have unfortunately caused a number of heart attacks to Mrs. Hueso. If I were making, like, say, sauteed apples with rum and cooking it down, and then suddenly here's, you know, 3-4 feet of flame, and I'm just, you know, working away like it's nothing, and she's not used to it, and so it's a little bit shocking. So I apologize quite often when I do that sort of thing. Not really, because I love you. Okay, we need scallions now. Okay. So in the recipe for the scallion oil, it specifies anywhere between 6 and 8, which is basically a bunch. And all we want are the green, maybe the light white portions of the scallions that are going in there. Some of these are looking a little bit rough, but for our purposes, it'll be just fine. I'm not going to bother trimming the root ends, but I am going to cut off all the green bits and then give them a wash. Then we'll get them sliced. Who did? Oh, hey, Windear, what's going on? What? Ah. So far, so good. That's true. It has been a pretty great Saturday. We went and got dim sum this morning, and at a different place, because the place that we used to go to closed down. And in retrospect, that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because the place that we went to today was awesome. So, yeah, no regrets there. Yeah. A lot of stuff like that. shallots need a quick rinse too, and then they need to dry off, because the last thing I want to do is add anything that's wet to hot oil, because that's just going to explode everywhere, and that's no bueno. I'm sorry? Nice. Lazy days are great if you can have them. Oh, there we go. We got a whole bunch of rings and things like that. Well, it does. Yes, it is a lot of shallots right now, but once they get fried up, they're going to significantly reduce in volume. That is correct. It's not all going to get used in the salads today. Like we can hang on to them for a little bit, not necessarily. Yeah. This isn't something that you can necessarily like fry up a gargantuan batch and then hang on to for a year. This is something you do every, I don't know, few days or something like that. But then again, fried shallots get used as a garnish on a lot of things in Vietnamese cuisine, so they go through them so quick, it just makes sense to, you're always making new ones. I mean, I've seen them for sale at Vietnamese markets, and I've tried them before, but I can't say. I don't know. Just for whatever reason, the taste was just kind of funky. I don't know why. So, if you have the capacity, I highly recommend frying up your own. Alright, that's done. On to the scallions. All I want to do is trim off the end bits a little bit. Because some of them are looking a little rough. Yeah, it is. Alright. One's at the very end didn't quite go all the way through. That's okay. Got scallion bits. Alright. Scallions, shallots, that's good to go. Cheers, folks. Indeed. Okay. We are ready to start toasting up the peanuts. And I've got a pot of water boiling over on the stove. Hopefully the camera hasn't frozen. We'll find out in a moment. So, let's see. We want 6 ounces of these noodles. That's 8.5. Seven. There we go. Okay. Thankfully, dried noodles like these last basically indefinitely. And they are pretty dang cheap. Yes, I will be happy to. Whoop! Vietnamese vermicelli. It's a really, it's almost like an angel hair kind of thickness, but it's a rice noodle, so it's gluten-free. If that is if that's a concern, if you happen to have an allergy. So I honestly, I think the only real allergen, well, actually no, let me rephrase. In the salad today, should you happen to have a shellfish allergen, there's a shrimp, but you don't have to have that. Peanuts, potential allergen. Again, you don't have to have that. So there's no gluten, there's no dairy. Everything else is really vegetables, and yeah, the chicken and the pork. Yeah, so that's really kind of the only allergen, potential allergen issues. So there you go. All right, to the stove. Let's see. Is the camera still working? It is! Oh, hooray! Yep, still going. There it is. Alright. I've got boiling water back here already. So we need 7 minutes on that. Yeah, so I've got a colander in the sink here, and the colander actually fits perfectly into this bowl. And then, so we'll cool them down in cold water, and then give them a good drain.
They're not hot.
No, not at all. So all we're doing on the peanuts here is we're just trying to get a kind of a light toast on them. We're trying to turn them kind of a golden brown, and then we're gonna crush them up in the mortar and pestle. In the mortar with the pestle, I should say.
I think it, sausage is more flavor.
Well, you're doing it because you're actually toasting them as opposed to having raw peanuts. Mortar, pestle. The what's out where is what? Yes, it is. I preheated it for when I go to Want to go to grill everything.
Gonna grill it up. Do you do the peanuts and tell what smells? He always says, saute the walnuts until you can smell it, but I can never smell it and they're burnt. Wah wah.
No, in this particular case, we're looking for a specific color. We're not... Because I can already smell the peanuts, but I know for a fact that they're not fully toasted yet. I would imagine that there's a way to do it in the oven. If I were to wager a guess, maybe 12 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit, maybe?
Did you put any fat in the bottom of the pan?
No, no fat.
Just straight peanuts and pinks.
Straight peanuts. You can see them starting to char a little bit on the outside. Or maybe you can't, I don't know. Oh! This reminds me, I forgot to tell you. There is a product on Amazon that is a kind of a face tracking tripod head. So you mount your camera to this thing, but the mount actually has a little camera, so it tracks your face. So if you have it set up in like a central location or whatever, you can it'll automatically track you as you're moving through the space. So imagine like if my camera over there was on one of those. Technology is pretty cool. Yeah, it's the outer skin that's on them. Just leave them on. I think they're technically called Spanish peanuts because of that. Don't ask me why. Um, I do not know the word for peanut in Spanish. I don't know if they can hear you. Alright. They smell really peanutty. Yes. Yeah, so you could just go get dry roasted peanuts that are unsalted and use it for this particular purpose. But I would think y'all would know me better by now.
You're an all or nothing kind of guy.
We're making it, we're making it! Okay. Probably need a bigger mortar. Alright. I do believe it is shallot frying time. So I'm going to give that pan that I just used a wipe out. Many with an accent on it. Money? I do not know. Okay. Alright, pan is wiped out. Pan is also hot.
Don't touch.
I'm using grapeseed oil. That should be no surprise, since that's my favorite kind of neutral oil. This is what I'm going to use to fry up the shallots, and that's what we're going to do the scallion oil with. Oh. But first, time to drain the noodles. Yeah.
Right you are, Ken.
Right you are, Scott. There we go. This is what we're looking at noodle-wise. So we're just going to leave them in the colander here to drain a little bit. But these are nice and cool now and totally soft. So noodles be done. Okay. Oh. Since I was over here. Since it's going to be a relatively shallow fry that I can't necessarily use a normal temperature probe like I would, I happen to have a temp gun. So this is what I'm going to use to check the temperature of the oil. Oh yeah, she knows the sound, and when she hears it, she chases after the laser like a cat. It's really very funny. It is basically, it's 500 mil or 16.9 ounces.
Filter it, use it for something else.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna use that oil for like sautéing and stuff like that. Okay, so we've got our shallots here. And we're gonna need some paper towels to drain them into. To drain oil?
Right.
And oh, there it is. Got my little dealie for scooping everything. Kind of the ultimate slotted spoons and utensils. Yeah, shallots are feeling nice and dry. Okay. Let's see how long it takes Vera to roll in.
It's that time.
Oh, is she? So this is saying oil is right around 250-ish. She's looking.
Just like that, there she is.
I really shouldn't be doing this with hot oil, but alright, we are almost at 10. Okay. Let's. Drum it like it's hot! Oh man, that smells good. Better? There we go. Turn the heat down so I don't overheat the oil. There we go. Water's starting to fry out. Starting to get the browning. And this is going to turn pretty quick. There. So close. Okay, I just turned the heat off since the residual heat in the oil should fry these up without any issue. Let's see. It's actually colder than I thought it was. The temp registering off the top was only 250. $350. Still registering 250. Fried shallots are yummy. I mean, you could salt the shallots if you really wanted to, but I'd recommend against it. There's already, like in the dressing for the salad, the wok chong, there's going to be fish sauce, which already has, you know, it's got the salt that we need. That and these tend to have a sweetness to them that if you salt them, then it masks that sweetness. And I don't want to. Because having that contrast is a good thing. Alright. Now, scallions in. That's off heat. So we can just leave that be. Okay. It's looking good. Veer is a cat at heart? Yeah, kind of. Okay. So the scallion oil's done. Fried shallots are done. Peanuts are done. Next up is the wok chong, the dressing that we're going to be making. So the recipe for it is on the Discord, and there's the link to it. The first link is for the marinade post, which is actually just above where everything else is, and the wok chong is there. So if you're playing along at home, this is what we got going on. So let's get the players out for it. Okay, garlic, sambal, fish sauce, rice vinegar, sugar, and a lime. little measure. Got that for the lime. Okay, got a garlic press, liquid measure, and last but not least, something to put in. We'll do a pretty bowl. Ta-da. Okay, so we're going to start off with a half cup of hot water. Into there, and then to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And we'll stir it up to let it dissolve. And just like that, the sugar's dissolved. Gotta love it. Okay. Next up, we've got fish sauce. And that is, what, 3 tablespoons? The one problem with the squid bottles, I'm not a big fan of the lid. And 3. Nope. Rice vinegar, 3 tablespoons. Okay. Sambal. I think I have a teaspoon now. I'm going to end up adding more to mine because I tend to like mine a little bit spicier, but thankfully you can adjust kind of the heat to it. But having a bit of chili in there is really, it's kind of important. It's a big part of the flavor profile for everything. Juice of the lime and the garlic. All right. No joke. And since we're garlic lovers in this household, I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna do 3 cloves. Because this is Arnawak Chom, and we can eat it however we want. But, yeah, feel free to adjust the amount of garlic that you end up putting into it. That's 3. And if you don't have a garlic press, I mean, you can easily just mince it up on the cutting board, give it a smash, and actually, I'll show you how to do it on. But first, let me get these guys rinsed. was going to leave that out because, like I said, I tend to like mine a little bit spicier. But there we go. Than the misses. That is correct. Okay. So you want to make garlic paste, but you don't have a garlic press. Thankfully, it's not terribly difficult. I always take off the stem just because it's a little bit of a tough bit. You can leave it if you want, but I honestly just take it. Next thing you're going to want to do is give it a good smash so that it's nice and pulverized. And then what I'll do is I'll run the knife through it in order to get it to a mince point. But at this point, now what you're doing is you're going to take your knife and you're going to drag it across and smash it as you do it. Yeah, exactly. Channel your inner Bob Ross, like you're mixing paints. Now you've got your garlic paste. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Don't tell Mrs. Ross. There we go. Awesome. Okay, we can put this stuff away now. Okay, so the peanuts are done, lok cham is done, the noodles are ready to go, the shallots are fried up, the scallion oil is done. At this point, really, we're at a point where we can start grilling some stuff. There we go. Yeah, so now it's time to take this stuff outside, and in the meantime we'll have Mrs. Hueso come in and start working on some of the other prep stuff that needs to be done. So while I'm outside doing that, we don't have blank time. No pressure, darling.
No pressure. I don't want to ruin dinner.
You're not going to ruin dinner.
I'm not worried.
Although I will say, if you do end up ruining dinner, I'll be really impressed.
There's going to be some serious ruinage.
Yeah, like what it would take for you to ruin things would be massive. Like
on the floor.
Like I genuinely shudder to think.
Behind you with shrimp.
Okay.
There was a text on my phone about the shrimp hanging out. Cook. Nope, I want to do this one.
Food prawn.
So this is how they're hanging out. They're not at a gym or in little clotheslines.
Who texted you?
Your mom.
Oh.
Avocado green KitchenAid. It's got jokes. Has all this stuff been washed and ready to go?
No, none of it's been washed. None of it is ready to go. So you get the wash stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Persian cucumbers.
Oh, I gotta learn how to julienne. These have been washed.
Yes, I just washed them.
Can I say this is how we hold the knife?
Yes.
We pinch it. This
Yes.
is my knife.
Yes.
It was a gift. So if we get divorced,
It's yours.
it's mine.
Yes. Okay, good job taking the ends off.
Yes, I knew that much.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do,
Cut it in half.
we're going to cut it in half, okay, to open it up. Then we're going to do it in half again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we're going to come at it from the side and cut out the seeds.
Okay. These could bring a lot of extra water and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we've got
And apparently, from the outside, you can tell the difference between male and female. I've yet to figure it out.
I didn't know that was a thing.
But the females have more seeds and are more watery.
I didn't know that cucumbers had a gender.
That's what somebody told me.
I don't know. Anyways,
Whether
okay.
or not it's true, I don't know.
Focus.
Shiny.
Shiny. Alright, so I've taken that quarter and
Yes.
I've cut it in half.
Yes.
And then now...
Follow. Or just do tiny little slits.
Yeah. Tiny little slices.
He makes it look easy. I thought Julian was.
Well, okay.
This isn't a real true Julian.
If we were doing a true julienne, we would need to get a hold of Julie Andrews.
Sure.
But we're talking about an 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch by about 3 inch long
Right.
cut, which is the technical definition of a julienne. But for our purposes, this is fantastic.
I wanted to learn how to Julian.
How to do a proper julienne?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
That was what I like. But I can do this.
Okay, you can do this
I
too.
can do easy.
Alright, so if you want to do a proper julienne,
Yeah, this I can do very easily. We're gonna peel a carrot because carrot skin's not yummy. I don't need to chop all of this, do I?
no.
Just like 1 or 2 of each.
Yeah, because hang on. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Shiny.
Shiny. So, if we're doing a true julienne, I only want this portion of it. We want to save this because that needs to go into the potato mac salad that I need to make later tonight for tomorrow. Anyway.
Another late night stream.
Another late night stream. Alright, so problem with a carrot like this is it's round.
Yes.
Okay? So what you want to do is take off...
So you have a flat surface.
So you have a flat surface. Okay, so now the strategy is you want to square it off. Okay. And then you turn it on its side, and then take off that top round bit. So ideally what you're looking for...
That was a perfect square.
Yeah, ideally what you're looking for is kind of a perfect square. And it doesn't always happen, or at least a rectangle of some kind.
That's a lot of... I see why we're not doing that, because this is a lot of waste.
It is a lot of waste. But if you're trying to do something specific, and you need specific
cuts, you
want it to look a certain way, then that's what you do. Now, in a restaurant situation, this wouldn't get thrown away. Are you kidding me? They'd hang on to that and throw it in the stock. So, okay. At this point, we're cutting planks. Okay, so 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch. An 1/8 inch.
And then we'll stack a couple of planks and cut those 1/8 inch.
You can. I would recommend doing it one at a time.
Until I get better at it?
Until you get better at it. So...
You see, we've had these conversations before.
Okay. So, we've got that, and I'm going to leave these 4 for you to practice on.
Yay!
Take your time, but you understand what to do with the 2 cucumbers
Yes.
now, right? Okay. Before you get to work on this, let's go over everything else. Okay.
Perilla leaves.
Perilla leaves, yeah, we're going to need some of those to go in the salad. We've got peppermint and spearmint.
And cilantro.
And we're just adding a little bit of each to the salads. This is super, super common.
It is.
The small leaves we'll just leave whole, but if there's a large couple of perilla leaves, like slice them up just a little bit so it's not gargantuan pieces. Yeah, but like all of that will need to be washed. And then the lettuce.
But you told me once it's okay to make it the right size, then wash.
You can, well, that's it. It is if you've washed nothing.
Okay.
But if you've washed stuff, because think about it from a contamination standpoint.
I just contaminated the cutting board.
There you go.
My bad. See, I ruined dinner.
Well,
Just kidding.
not entirely.
No.
Okay. So yeah, bean sprouts we need some of those washed. We are gonna want
big handful?
Well, for you a big handful, for me like a half handful. But we're gonna need lettuce, washed, chopped up.
Okay, so much washing.
So much washing, so much chopping.
Okay.
And then let me get bowls out.
Did you get a strainer out so I can rinse the washing? Look, my first julienne.
So since I'm here, I'm on your right, by the way.
Okay. Interesting. Not quite perfect, but
That's what practice is for.
practice.
There's a reason why they had us do this at the beginning and end of every kitchen class semester. Alright, so noodles are in the bowl. They're a little clumped at the moment, but that's okay because by the time we go to add like the dressing and everything else and get everything mixed up, they'll separate out just fine. And you can use this colander.
Okay. Have you guys had vermicelli noodle salad before?
It's super delicious.
At sort of a last job I had, the IT guy took me out to lunch once, and we went to this Vietnamese restaurant. And he's like, "Have you ever had it?" I'm like, "Nope." So I got vermicelli noodle salad for the first time, and it was fantastic. I was like, "This is amazing." It was so good that I talked Decay into going. We went to that same restaurant, I don't know, a couple days later.
Yeah. And we had it, and
We ate there fairly regularly after a while.
yeah.
After that. So when we were thinking about moving up here, we were up here on vacation. We decided it has to, up here being the Pacific Northwest, has to have a few things to make it worth our while. And a good Asian community was required, and Portland proper has got that. We would love for you to try it, Scott. Next time we're in town. Although, I bet you can find a pho place around you. Any pho place has it.
Most pho places have
Most. I would say 90%.
it. Yeah.
It's a very common dish at a pho restaurant. Just keep in mind, pho is really a breakfasty meal. So they usually shut down earlier.
Some places, however, are like 24 hours. Like that place we went to that one night. We were with that crazy couple. You remember? Yeah.
That's.
Well, I wasn't going to say their name.
They're no longer a couple.
That's true.
Who knows what happened to him? Rumor has it he started heroin and went to jail.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. The guy.
I don't know if I'd buy it.
So if you come to my house and start telling me a story, I'm gonna buy it. And
Well,
I'm not like literally pay attention to every word, but if I think you're telling a long tale, I'm gonna encourage you to run with it.
oh gosh, no.
And so he starts spinning this tale of how he was a internet hacker, and with the 3 keystrokes he could shut down the internet, and government was after him, and I of course like, really? So let's fuel the fire. So I started asking questions, and he just got deeper and deeper.
He just kept digging the hole.
Yep. And so I kept asking questions and like buying into it, pretending to buy into it anyways.
Yeah,
And before you know it, like,
he's some super hacker or whatever, and I'm like, really, dude?
the next day at church, his wife apologized. Some of that's not true. Oh, you
Really?
think? What do you mean? I did that one a little different. Same difference.
Okay. So I've got a couple of things of pork loaded up now.
You should show the.
I'm gonna.
Well, I guess Houston would be lacking in Greek food, avocado, accidental chaos, but
Hey, what's going on, Accidental Chaos?
I would think being close to Austin, you'd have a fairly decent. You should be able to get something.
Alright, so the chicken, I can
Course.
just take out like that.
Here, I don't know, is that Greek food?
What?
Where we get the Euro stuff and stuff like that. I'm not a Perilla
no.
leaves girl.
I
It's
don't.
what, Mediterranean, I guess. How much?
I'm
cilantro?
pretty sure it's run by Russians.
No, the place up the street where you can get Euros, and we usually get lamb kebabs.
Oh.
They are not. They are
No.
not Russian.
No. So, no, I'm sorry. I was
They are
thinking.
very
I was thinking about the one.
The dude's name is Hussein.
Yes. No. Now I know which one you're talking about. I was thinking of a different one. The one that I was thinking of, I'm pretty sure is run by Russians. But no, the one that you're talking about, yeah, he's from.
His name's Hussein.
I don't remember where. Nice guy though. Him and his
Yeah.
brother.
We used to go pretty frequently, but now with food prices going up, to us go there, it's like
Excuse me, puppy.
$60. Have you noticed food trends in your area? Like there's something you used to get frequently, but now it's just way too expensive? We're kind of making this dinner tonight because of that. I mean, vermicelli noodle salad for the two of us at the place we like to go to is, I don't know, $40?
Something.
Which isn't horrible, but, you know,
For what it is.
David's not making gobs of money on Twitch yet. So until we're basking in the millions. We're Accidental Chaos asked if anyone's watched this season finale of Stranger Things. We watched the first episode, and then we had a couple phone calls, and
It took us 3 hours to watch.
it took us 3 hours to watch an hour and a half episode. But by then it was 10:30, and episode 2 is 2.5 hours. So we're saving that for tonight. I hope it's.
I did see something that seemed to indicate that there's going to be a season 5.
No, this is the end. The end all be all.
That's what I thought, but I saw a comment from someone that indicated that they were excited for season 5, which I thought was really odd,
Yeah.
because I was led to believe that it was, gonna be over.
I think that's a troll, but we'll see. Did it end well? Citizen. Wait. Epic finale. Awesome.
Okay.
Video games, yeah. Season 5 is confirmed? Oh. They're making bank on it, so they'd be dumb to stop. I mean,
if all the actors are into it,
they're making bank. They'd be silly to stop.
well,
I'm not an actor. And I know, like, some of the actors, Flynn, for example, Mike,
yeah.
I mean, he's got gobs of stuff he's in. So I get, like, oh, hey, you can make more money via the movies.
Well, the concern that I have, though, is that, well, because I was always led to believe that there was definitely a finale in mind. Like, there was an end game. Like, there was a definite start and end of the story.
Right, we don't want this to be like the X-Files.
No. This
Where it
can't
just-
be something that just keeps going.
It just keeps going and they make the storyline horrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put carrots on.
Okay.
So, but you enjoyed it? Accidental Chaos? Yeah, Accidental Chaos said he saw the announcement for season 5. Yeah, I thought season 4 was the end too, but
Okay.
okay. Marco, and you don't have to like accidental things or watch it. I know that's a lot of people, some people can't handle scary, and that's okay if you can or cannot. What do you like to watch? I need a bowl.
What kind of bowl?
Just to put the-
Oh.
You use the love-hate plastic bowls we have.
Oh, those.
I love-hate them. I hate them because when they're wet, they stick together and they're impossible to use.
Okay. So I've got the shrimp skewered up. I've got everything I need. Made 2 skewers for the shrimp.
You should show it.
I've got my salt here for it because we haven't seasoned them with anything. And I've got some of the scallion oil that I'm going to base the shrimp in before putting them onto the grill. And then, yeah, when all is said and done, we'll come back and undo stuff. And, yeah.
You know, stuff.
All right.
How much lettuce do you think we need? Maybe that much?
Maybe a little bit more, because I'm definitely going to want more than you.
I'm very full from dim sum.
That is true.
Ugh, dim sum's my favorite food. And we went to a German deli this morning, and I was like, on the way home, can we get dim sum, please? And he said yes. He's very happy about that. Oh, you and Scary don't get along? Yeah. We love Nick's in the police shows. Rookie. Funny, we don't watch Nick's LA, which is kind of interesting. I would like to try it. But yeah, Stranger Things can be very scary, and I think before the season, season 1, season 2, the scary was the unseen. They did a beautiful job of filming it that way. But this season, like, scary's all up in your face. And it's like, first episode, right out the gate. I gotta rinse this. It's gotta be washed. I say washed because a friend of mine way back in the day, she would say wash instead of wash. And it's one of those, it's the dialects of where she lived. Depending on where you live determines how you say the word water. 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 I'm sorry, we couldn't get a camera outside. We're, kind of like the camera set's all or nothing. All or nothing. Wrong drawer. These are tea towels that are, they have stars on them. And they are only for food only. I actually sewed it closed, so it's a little bag. So David could put all the mirepoix in it. And that way when he was roasting before the Instapot, he could just put it all in the bag and then pull the bag out. We'd, turn it inside out, rinse it, wash it. It's held up really well. He's had it, I don't know, 15 years? 10 years? Anyways. Yeah. River monsters, we love river monsters. Oh my gosh, that fish in Brazil that was creepy. The fish was a plant eater, but then it ate the entire plant of the entire lake and then grew human teeth and then started eating all the other fish. We're talking river monsters.
Oh.
Super creepy. And that's real life. That's
that invasive fish species?
Yeah.
I remember that one. That was what, down in Brazil?
Yeah. South America. But they caught the teeth and it was like human teeth. Ugh.
That's how they were shaped.
Super creepy. There's hardly anything that'll scare me. I don't know why. That's creepy. That's what I find creepy is nature. I like to cut the lettuce down the middle, and then I'll cut it across this way. Oh, you can't really see that. So lettuce down the middle here. I like to do it lettuce down the middle, And then I'll cut it this way. Some people in the house only do it this part. But then you get these giant pieces, and I don't like that. And since I'm cutting it, I get to cut it the way I want. My mouth is a little bit smaller than his. He's always been very good. Like, tell me the truth. What did you think of this dinner? And I'll tell him the truth. And my number one usual complaint is the pieces weren't small enough. But that's not fair for him to always make small pieces for me. What am
I making small pieces of?
Food my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying my number one complaint with your cooking's been... Not number one complaint. Please don't take it that way. It's just...
I'm offended.
Usually it's like, dang it. Doesn't fit in my mouth hole very good. But I can cut it down. Anyways, is the 100 good? Is that what you said you finished watching? I think I started it once on Netflix, but, yeah.
Fried shallots and the scallion.
Shall we chop the bean sprouts?
No, leave them whole.
Leave the bean sprouts whole, he says. Leave them whole. Well, river monsters is nature. It's real. Okay, history or sports related. I don't watch The Boys. DK does. I kind of want to because, what's his name is in it, and that is a beautiful man. It's fun to watch. I'm told what's his name? Dean from Supernatural's in it. And I would be happy to watch that man do whatever he's doing. But, DK's told me I'm not really, he doesn't think I'd like the show. I don't like a lot of, I don't need to be watching people having sex. Like, that's not something you should be watching. In my opinion, that's just me. No judgment if that's what you like. And, I can only tolerate so much language. I don't mind, cuss words when they're done correctly, not correctly, but when they're, they can be hilarious and make a huge difference, but sometimes they get a little out of control and you're just saying, now you're just making sounds because you can.
Which ones?
Mine's full of carrot.
Oh, you didn't give me any carrot?
You didn't say you wanted some. I'll give you carrot. Look, here's carrot.
You made carrot. I want carrot.
Someone, was Excellent Chaos was asking about who watched the latest Boys episode.
Oh, yeah.
I see why it's white shrimp. That makes sense.
Yeah. I did. I watched it.
I was talking about why I don't watch some shows and how you don't think I'd like it.
No, she would hate The Boys. Absolutely hate it.
Why?
Any number of reasons. Language, content.
Okay. I trust you.
Yeah, no, you would totally hate it. Yeah, the latest episode was, I will say this, there's been a number of people that have talked about kind of the ending and everything, and I wasn't caught off guard by it. To be honest, I kind of expected it. I was, that was kind of like kind of felt like that was coming for a while.
Told ya. I tried to watch Breaking Bad, but that first season was crazy. I was like, nope, I'm out. Which is hilarious. I have a hard time watching fiction, but I love Criminal Minds, which is the same thing, only it's fiction. I did, out of respect of the show, watch the last episode of Breaking Bad. Because it deserved the respect. And we have been watching Better Call Saul. What else? Of course, that's on hiatus right now. That show's for sure ending. What else do you guys like to watch? The Korean dramas is something we watch. The current one we're watching, we put on pause because Stranger Things. It's called Money Heist, and it's about this group. It's sort of a Korean version of Ocean's 11, only it's a little bit more intense and a little darker. Not that anything's happened, so I don't know. I was just like, okay, it's time for me to like, I need a palate cleanser after that episode. Ozark was one, we watched a couple of seasons, and I was like, I couldn't get into that one. Again, I don't know, it's just what I like and what I don't like. There you go. Here, let's see. Boop. But the noodles are down at the bottom. Very typical when they give you salads like this. The meat will be up on top. The only thing missing from a you can get, so if you go to a pho restaurant and you ask for vermicelli noodle salad, like you can get it just pork, just meat, like just beef, just shrimp, and then it always comes with an egg roll. But we decided, egg roll's going a little too far, we're okay. And we usually get the, mix it all up. So chicken's not normally on there, but we had some leftover chicken, so we're using that. Yes, Jensen Ackles. That's his name. That's a beautiful man. David Borance is my other favorite person to look at. And we're all on the same page. Like,
I'll allow it.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo!
If I was if I was an insecure individual, then I might care.
And I'm not asking for a freebie with the guy. I just like watching him on TV.
And that's okay.
It is okay.
Alright, so we got chicken here, and
That
we got...
chicken looks fantastic.
Yeah. Chicken looks good. And since we got nothing else cutting on here, you know what? I'm alright cutting this right on the board.
Does this come in other colors, or?
Yes.
I'm thinking we should do something more.
I completely agree.
I can cut the meat.
Okay. I will put that in mine. And then you can cut up your own chicken.
Ooh, I'm all grown up now. I can do what I want.
That was from a promo for... I don't even remember the name of the show. Never watched the show, didn't care to watch the show. It was some Canadian teen drama. This was back during my Canadian teen drama phase when I was watching Degrassi, The Next Generation, and Instant Star was the other one that I was watching. Don't ask me why, but anyways.
How did these work out?
Awesome.
Okay, sorry, I got you off topic. Yeah, but the promo...
But the promo was...
every single commercial break. And it was this girl going to college, and it was co-ed dorms, and she walked into the bathroom,
and the guy's just walking around naked, and he's all, we're all grown up.
He's got a towel on.
Yeah, he's all, we're all grown up now. We can do what we want.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I honestly remember from the promo.
So we kind of joked about, like, well, I'm all grown up now. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
So these things works good?
Yeah, I think so.
And they'll go through the dishwasher.
Yes, they will. I mean, I know it's like, it's kind of sticking a bit, but to be honest, given the marinade and everything else, it's kind of understandable. And thankfully, I can soak it and run it through the dishwasher, so who cares?
So who cares?
I do.
Should make a fancy grilled cheese one of these days.
Put it in the Discord.
Put it in the mouth.
I don't know if you want to chop up that pork at all, and if you want to chop up your chicken. You can use your hands to touch it.
Well, I was trying to be careful because sometimes this stuff is super hot.
True. Okay, got another minute 45 on.
Looks and smells fantastic.
It does. Hi, Jane.
Hmm.
I'm gonna seal those.
Just up the AC they picked up. AC just kicked on. It's only like 75 today, but if it's really humid, then it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. Ooh, grilled cheese with Gruyere. That's nice. We just brought home today some butter cheese. That would make excellent grilled cheese. If you don't have enough fun topping for grilled cheese, some of these chopped up green onions he had lying around just a little bit ago. Just a tiny bit, not much. Of course, you can get all fancy. Like, what fat would you want on your bread? Or in the pan, like you could do, you know, bacon fat.
Put foil on the tray, and the tray is still clean.
Tongs.
Tongs.
What would be a fancy grilled cheese for you, sweetheart?
That's a good question. To be honest, like, it's one of those things that
I like a lot of chicken. It's high protein.
on a grilled cheese.
No, right now I picked a lot of chicken in my bowl.
Oh,
But I did that because chicken's high in protein and lower in fats than this beautiful pork next to it.
for who? An ultimate grilled cheese?
Yeah, like a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich for the stream. What would you put on it?
You know what?
I was like green onion.
I think it's one of those things that I don't know if I would necessarily do a single grilled cheese. It would be kind of like when back in the early days of the stream, so many months ago, when I did the stir fry stream, I had a whole bunch of ingredients out, and I think it would be like that. It'd be a selection of different breads and different cheeses for different reasons. And then, yeah, like other add-ons. So things like chopped up green onions, maybe rubbing garlic on the bread. There's
bacon bits.
Yeah, bacon bits. I mean, there's
onions.
Yeah, the fried shallots. I mean, there's so many.
He doesn't eat grilled cheese that often. I'm more of the grilled cheese girl.
I was thinking a little bit more pork for mine.
Yeah, you should do that.
I'm gonna. Because as we've established, I am all grown up. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the dishwasher?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll have to unload it later. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good for right now. And then we can do final assembly.
Final assembly.
Yeah, because it's not done yet.
You're right. We gotta do peanuts and stuff. You're always right. Oh, thinly sliced apples on grilled cheese.
Yeah, totally.
Grilled mozzarella cheese, stick cheese, grilled cheese with Gruyere.
Yeah, Gruyere or I'm a big fan of Comté as opposed to Gruyere, so I highly recommend that. Yeah, Foreman Voltron.
The butter cheese we just brought home.
Yes, the butter cheese. I was thinking in the event that beef showed up or Echoes of Ashes showed up, I would do the gourmet raw dog roll that we had talked about in chat previously. Okay, so now it's time to actually finish this off.
Okay.
So, some of the dressing,
Oh, that's mine.
I'm not gonna. Usually like a fairly decent amount. that in there. And then hit it with a bit of the scallion oil.
And now for the head.
The head! Nice. A few extra because they're super tasty. And last but not least, some of the crushed onions. And this is my version of the Vietnamese vermicelli noodle salad. There we go. Better beauty shot. Money shot. There we go. Huzzah. Mrs. Hueso is all grown up. She can dress her own, since she tends to like less of the dressing than myself. I also normally eat it with a fork as opposed to chopsticks, but shrimp goes into the bowl. Oh. Let's move hers out of the way. There we go. Some folks like to actually kind of take it and then wrap it up in like a lettuce leaf and eat it that way. We're big fans of just mixing the whole thing up and just kind of going to town on it that way. Thankfully, mixing it up like this would not cause an international incident. Smasher bowls? Yeah, pestle and mortar. Yeah, this guy. There we go. That is tasty.
Yeah, I like this dish because it's high in protein and it's just the right amount of carbs. Because it's a serving of
Right, shallots.
yeah, a serving. I'll say a serving is 1 cup. We probably have a cup and a half in there.
Maybe.
So 166 calories, 40 carbs.
I'll give you more scallions than oil. But there's just a little bit of oil in there, maybe. And then you can dress it yourself.
Is this the dressing?
Yep.
It's a little different.
Yeah, the stuff that we usually get from the restaurant doesn't have
Ooh,
the
that smells amazing.
right?
Does it already have the chili paste in it or no?
Just a little bit.
It's cool. So what I like to do is add it now, mix it up, and then add it again later. Then my food at the very bottom isn't in soup. I get why these shrimp are white. They are white, not pink.
Because they're white.
Because they're white. Don't worry, it's all white.
There we go. Yeah, Vietnamese food is super colorful and generally speaking pretty low fat. But there's always a ton of flavor. That's good pork. Sweet and savory. And the nice thing about like the fish sauce, a lot of people will have an aversion to it because they're like, oh, it's so fishy or whatever. And straight up, it can be really pungent, but when it's mixed into a sauce like this or used in a marinade, it just adds a layer of umami and savoriness, and it's like background notes. Yeah, you're absolutely D. It honestly tastes better than it looks. The chicken came out fantastic. Those are chicken thighs that we marinated and pounded out. Then the pork bits that got grilled up. But it's pretty low fat and also low calorie. And just tastes great. Yeah. Consequently, if you're having trouble julienning stuff, they do make julienne peelers. So you can literally get a julienne like that. Yeah, and on a lot of times that is how most places do it, is they use like a julienne peeler or something like that, because then it's a time saver, because hand cutting stuff takes a long time. All the extra waste, definitely. Hey, Gary Gemini! Happy Saturday to you too. But yeah, that is vermicelli noodle salad. I fully intend to shove all of this into my mouth hole and enjoy it, yea verily. Cheers, everybody. Any questions from the class? Doesn't necessarily have to be about this. If you got any other kitchen questions, TV questions, whatever.
Yes, I like it.
That chicken's got a nice citrus hit from the lime that was in there. Yes, I like it. That would be because teleportation technology hasn't been developed yet off Comfort and KitchenAid. And some more shallots because I like. And they're tasty. Although I am going to add a bit more sambal, because I tend to like a little bit more spice in mine. Teleportation were a real thing, that'd be amazing, yeah. But there's way too many issues with making that happen. Well, from a physics standpoint, from just everything else, there's just way too many things going on. Do we drink wine, and if so, what do you usually go to? So, accidental chaos, that's a great question. Mrs. Waso and myself actually don't drink. Personal choice. We do not poo-poo at all. And in fact, I see 3 bottles of wine down there. I've got bourbon, rum, Irish whiskey, scotch, beer. Oh yeah, there's moonshine back there. I got a whole bunch of stuff. I use it all the time in cooking, but we don't drink. But a go-to, I think it would really depend. It depends on what it is that you're having. For something like this, for instance, I would say like a good light lager. You get like Singha or Tsingtao. You know, some of the, or like Asahi, Sapporo, like the Japanese rice lagers, a lighter lager. In American beer terms, something like a Miller Lite or like a PBR. But something relatively light, not necessarily a ton of bitterness. Pilsner, I think, would also work pretty well. In terms of a wine to go with this, I don't know that much about wine to really say yay or nay. I know way more about beer. But, you know, need to go make boring hamburgers. Good stream today. Okay, well, have a good one at Avocado Green KitchenAid. But, like, I use... It depending... Okay, so here's a... Earlier today, we went to a German deli down in Portland and got brats for tomorrow. They're currently marinating in onions and a big bottle of Einger's Celebrator Doppelbock, which is a German, kind of in the same vein of, not really a Hefeweizen, but it's a darker beer, it's a heavier beer. It's meant to be like liquid bread kind of thing. So they're marinating in that, and then they'll be simmered before being grilled tomorrow to finish off. And we got some rolls to stick them into. So, I mean, I'll do stuff like that. If I'm making a barbecue sauce, for instance, I love using either Scotch ales or porters or stouts to go into them. Although I have made them, and I do enjoy making them with sours. Which earlier today I had my hands on a bottle of Dry Fontaine's Creek, which is pretty cool. Dry Fontaine is a really famous sours brewery out of Belgium. Not quite as famous as like Cantillon. They're probably the most famous sour producers there. But then here in the Portland area, there's a super world-class sours producer, Cascade Brewing Company. Which makes all kinds of amazing stuff, and their barrel program's insane. Had the opportunity when we came up on vacation to go there and actually tour the place, because and tap a K. She got drenched in beer, and a random customer was just like, "Oh, that looks really good," and licked it off of her face, and I was just like, "Oh, that's hi there." She said it was nasty. I'm like, oh, that's kind of hot. We all have things that we like. Sure. Some of us like Jensen Ackles or David Boreanaz. I don't know if y'all heard that. Some of us want to see our wives licked by beautiful women. I didn't know that I wanted to, but it happened. It was spur of the moment. And it was pretty hot. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe you nasty.
What? What? I didn't expect it. I wasn't like, oh yeah, do it, baby. But it was like, it happened. I was just like, oh.
I know. I didn't expect it either. But
I'm really interested if you've done your own honey barbecue sauce recipe. I have used honey in barbecue sauce quite a bit. I will say my base barbecue sauce recipe that I use, I call it Walesboro barbecue sauce, and I actually have it on a couple of
It's excellent.
right here. Well, hang on. Let's switch the camera so you might be able to see it. Okay, you can't really see it from that angle, but there's a couple of priority mailing labels, and I've got two different measurements for it on there. But part of the recipe is it's got honey as well as brown sugar. but you could easily change out whatever sweetener that you want to use. Another one that I love to use, which not a whole lot of people, not a whole lot of white folk, I should say, really know about.
Shrimp is fantastic.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Oh no. That was liquid smoke.
Nice.
Well, we're going to smell like a campfire. Date syrup. If you happen to have access to any kind of Middle Eastern market, date syrup. This stuff is phenomenal in, well, really anything. Oh, the cat broke?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm gonna show the folk. That's okay. We can makeshift a cap. Oh, rubber band on it.
F in the chat for the lid. The bottle decided to jump off the shelf and commit suicide.
The bottle's in great condition.
It's the cap. The cap decided that it was going to crack, and so it smells like liquid mesquite. Which isn't entirely unpleasant, just... I don't know if I really want this lingering around. Oh, you know what? It's going to linger until August. Watch. Just watch.
No.
That would be my luck.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so honey in a barbecue sauce, absolutely. The only thing you have to be careful of with any barbecue sauce, especially like if you have using honey in it, is that you don't want to leave it on whatever you're making for a long time on the heat, because the sugars can burn really easily, and when it burns, it's no bueno. You don't want that flavor. So most of the time for barbecue sauces, I usually either have them on the side or it's just a finishing sauce. So like I'll make whatever, usually with dry rubs and things like that, and then I'll put it on like at the very end just to kind of heat it through and maybe kind of start to caramelize it a little bit, so then that way it doesn't get all burny. So you're just going to have a nice little accentuation of liquid smoke in every piece of food you make until the end of August. No, it's spilled on the floor. And so this area just smells like liquid mesquite now. It's not entirely unpleasant. The towels are soaking it up, but with my luck, it's gotten in between like the floor slats. And so they'll just be like you know what? It'll be like a ghost scent. It'll be like, you're like, why do I smell like wood smoke? Oh, that's the ghost of Old Smoky. That'll be the running gag, is that the ghost of Old Smoky will be around. So that'll be kind of funny.
Ghost of Old Smoky.
All covered in cheese.
Yeah.
We need to work on your cucumber slices a little bit.
Yes, sir.
They're a little large. I'll still eat them, but they're not quite as small as I would have liked them. That's okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So. Okay.
I will work on cucumber.
Good job. Well,
Any fun plans for the 4th?
yeah. Anybody have any good plans for the 4th? Our plan is honestly hang out, and we're gonna have German cold cuts. Like, I'm not gonna grill anything. I'm not gonna smoke anything. We're just having cold cuts because it did this. I'm cooking tomorrow. In fact, I got to cook later tonight. And then yeah, Monday will just be like, we're making sandwiches.
Yay!
Hooray! So.
And leftovers.
And leftovers. Because we've still got extra pork. There's probably still some chicken.
You're making that potato salad later.
I'm making the potato mac salad later. Yeah, I'm making a Hawaiian potato mac salad.
To go with the brats.
To go with the brats. And then we're also going to have, it was requested spam musubi, so I'm going to be doing that tomorrow.
It's
and then,
not musubi though, it's
musubi. I I don't know. However, it's
I think it's musubi.
I don't know. Anyway, however it's pronounced. Anyways, we're making them. I love them, and they love them.
Too.
So
I love mine with egg.
we'll make it with egg. We can do that. We have the technology.
Good.
So, yes, good indeed. So, at any rate, we will wish all y'all a good night and a good weekend.
Safe 4th of July.
Have a safe 4th of July.
Don't drink and drive.
Yes.
Be careful with fireworks because they are very dangerous.
They can be very dangerous, and we don't want to see anybody losing any, digits or limbs or life or anything because of that.
Wear protective gear.
Have a hose.
Have a hose.
Yeah. So
That's actually hooked up to something.
that's actually hooked up to something. Yes. Thank you, dear.
Hey, we did fireworks for a long time.
We did, and I talked about that last night. And how your brother's got like his turnouts and everything from it, and how the year after we stopped doing it, the
whole
group
field got caught on fire.
Yeah, the whole field caught on fire because
the field caught on fire. They had to shut it down.
Yep.
And not finish the show. Which the worst thing after a long day is have to pack up fireworks, live fireworks, and drive them back to the factory. Not the factory, but the facility.
The distributor. So
yeah.
All right, folks. We're gonna peace out. I may stream the potato mac salad later. I may not. I don't know. I'm not gonna announce it. It just depends on how I'm feeling. So, at any rate, love you guys. Thank you so much. So you guys aren't doing fireworks? So, Accidental Chaos. Here's the thing. About a year or so after we moved here, the city that we live in outlawed fireworks within the city limits proper. Okay. However, there's a lot of unincorporated area around us, and so just on the other side of the border of the city limits are circus tents of fireworks. We're not exaggerating. And I mean, if you've ever been to Texas, those, and Midwest even, those folks do not mess around when it comes to them. And so it's impressive and it's awesome. However, here's the thing: we're not hanging out with anybody. We're not like doing anything, and because so many people around us are doing them, we just chill out and let them set off the fireworks, and so we can just sit back and enjoy it. Hey, Maria! You got here just in time as we're getting ready to shut it down. Yeah, made a delicious Vietnamese vermicelli noodle salad today. Super tasty.
Smell my fingers. Mesquite.
What have you been doing with Old Smoky? Where have those fingers been? So,
Old Smoky.
Old Smoky. That's the name of the ghost, is Old Smoky. That's gonna be the running joke now. whenever we smell the smoke in the area, it's like, Old Smoky is here.
It's pretty much gone now.
I was moderating another stream. Oh yeah, no worries. I would. Let's be honest, Maria. You're probably in 3 different streams at the moment, knowing you, and you're probably modding 2 of the 3, because that's how Maria rolls. Is she's doing all sorts of good Twitch stuff. But yeah, Maria's awesome. We love Maria, and I'm hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that this next week I can make that pizza that we were talking about. Oh, you're only moderating 1? Oh, thank goodness. But I'm hoping that I can get that pizza going this next week. Yeah, Tuesday or Thursday. I'm thinking we'll do that pizza. I wanna try making it once ahead of time just to kind of feel it out a little bit, and then we'll have at it. For you guys tonight, make sure to let us know your thoughts about the Stranger Things season finale. Oh, I will, Accidental Chaos. I will. I will say in the first episode of the finale, the moment where Eddie pulls out a copy of the Iron Maiden cassette and declares that this is music, I was just like, yes! So, and he's got a pretty cool battle vest, I have to say. So, anyways, All right, folks. Everyone, have yourself a good evening, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. I don't try to pop into the streams as long as I'm moderating because I have to pay more attention to the chat I'm moderating. Yeah, no, I totally understand, Maria. If you're modding, and especially if it's a chat that is in desperate need of moderation, I totally get it. So, my feelings are not hurt in the least. I know you were here in spirit. Hey, Chubby Viking.
Nothing personal.
Chubby's coming back stateside at the end of August.
Oh, where's he at?
He's currently in Japan.
Nice.
But he'll be back stateside, and he will be north of us.
How far north? North?
Like just a couple of hours.
Nice. We need to make that happen.
So, yeah.
If you're okay with that, Chubby Bike.
Yeah, if you're okay with that, Chubby. So.
Yeah, you
just
need
saying.
to come down and spend the night or something.
Yeah, we'll feed you. So.
Give you a warm bed.
And I won't even ask you to bring me Japanese import vinyl.
There's so much like, he's in Japan? Ooh, where? Give me this.
Yeah.
Just
like honestly, like my shopping list for Japan is usually like kitchen equipment and stuff like that. It's like no. But you know, what can I do? So, anyways, everyone, take care. We're gonna go sit down and eat and hopefully watch the final episode of Stranger Things in under 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we're crossing our fingers on that. So take care, everybody. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the lurkers. Thank you to everybody who, D, who popped in. D is amazing. Thanks so much for everything. And take care, folks, and see you later.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be?